We're here for wonderful things tonight, to move our community and our congregation forward. And so if you have a cell phone that's on, turn it off. It'll be good. Second, this week's Torah portion, Shalach Lecha, which we'll talk a little bit more about later, is different than the one that sounds like it. Lech Lecha is come unto yourself. And it's an odd one because we always go, Lech Lecha is coming unto yourself. Doesn't make much sense unless you intend to figure out who you are and then come to who you actually are. This week's Torah portion says, travel to yourself, Shalach. Wait a minute. You're here.
We're meeting tomorrow.
What time?
Before close.
We'll have a conversation about that, won't we ever? In any case, whether it is to come unto yourself, which is an oddity, but it means come and find yourself within yourself, or travel to find yourself, all of those things take you to the same place, to yourself. But we will talk much more about this week's Torah portion because there is a great deal to say. In traveling to find yourself, you find a great number of things. So, if you have a phone, please shut it off and let us begin. Blessing, a skill that takes great care, great focus. And so take a moment and offer blessing to yourself. Take a moment, bless yourself, because it is only in blessing ourselves we can bless others. So take a moment and offer yourself a blessing. Now offer a blessing to those you came into this place with. And now, blessings are clearly harder than we imagine. And now the hardest of all, offer a blessing to someone you did not come into this place with. That requires you to think outside of yourself. light our Shabbat candles as we begin this joyful evening, we call on Toby Reddick.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu mitzvotav, v'tzivanu ad l'ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hachaven. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahavu v'ratzon hinchilanu, Zikaron Masei Bereshit, Yom Tehila Lemekrai Kodesh, Zecher Yetziat Mitzrayim, Imanu V'acharta, Yotanu Kidashta, Mikol Shabbat Kodshecha Be'ahava u'b'ratzon Hilchatanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Lirgat Dodi, Lirgat Kalan, B'nei Shabbat, Lirgat Kalan, Lirgat Dodi, Lirgat Kalan, B'nei Shabbat, Lirgat Kalan, Zamor v'Zamor, V'Dibur Echad, V'Shmiat Ve'Amikat, Adonai Echad. Blessed, praised, honored, exalted, extolled, glorified, adored, and lauded be the name of the Holy Blessed One, beyond all earthly words and songs of blessing, praise, and comfort, to which we say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yitbaron ha'ari barabim, v'chachma poteach she'arim, uv'tbuna mishaneh itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'saher et hakochavim, v'mishmerotehem, barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. V'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, Adonai ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'arid. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot.
And wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. There is a better place, promised land. That the winding way of that promise passes through the wilderness.
That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levacha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher Anochi mitzvata hayom al levadecha v'shinantam l'ranecha v'dibartam V'shivtecha b'beitecha, v'vlechtecha l'derech, v'shachbecha v'kumecha, v'kshartam me'od al yadecha, v'hayu l'totachot b'einecha, v'chtatam al mezuzot beitecha, v'yisharecha, lema'an tizkeru, asitem et Hai, Yitem Yeroshim Leloechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Lehiolatem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God. You are the people. You are our sovereign Savior. You deliver us from present pains and save us from tyrant's fists. You are our only power, our only honor. You give us all our success. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam v'rit olam. Beini uvein v'nei Yisrael oti la'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash. As we rise for Tefillah, we call on Marianne Polk and Bel Seidel. Adonai, Sibetai Tivtach, Uvia Gidi Lasecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. You are forever mighty, Adonai. On this week's Mishnah list, Barbara Abramowitz, Ruth Benson, Henrietta Dalton, Lee Feldman, Helen Heller, Melton Heller, Harry Jackson, Sandy Kreuter, Effie Morabito, Joe Morabito, Joel Rosenberg, Ethel Rolnick, Mario Steisel, Gary Delisle. If there are other names, please feel free. This week's Torah portion is enormously fitting to the event we are about to share in. You see, Shalach Lecha, send for yourself. Reach out beyond what you can grasp and look forward to what is ahead of you. The scouting, because Moses sends 12 scouts out into Canaan to seek out and search out the land before we decide to take over the promised land. The problem is that is in defiance of God, and we are to pay a price for it. How dare we think that God would send us to a place that God did not already search out and scout out. And so, the reason we are destined to wander in the desert for 40 years is because we have a lack of faith in the vision of God. We believed that God would send us someplace unprepared, and that God had not already defined his hours. And so we are destined to spend 40 years and to die in the desert, including Moses, so that a generation that defied and challenged and did not believe could be separated from those who would ultimately enter into the country and take it. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. You see, God sends 12 to seek out the land, 12 spies to enter. And they come back, and 10 come back, and what the 10 saw is we can't possibly conquer and take the land. It's filled with giants, it is filled with people and things that will destroy and demolish us, and God must be wrong. God must be wrong. That's a level of hubris I've never seen before. But the Jews will find a way. And so we decide, 10 of the 12, that God is absolutely wrong. We can't go in there and take over the land. And then there are 2 stragglers who come back and say, Moshe, I don't know what they think they saw. It's not perfect, but yes, we can. And besides the fact that yes, we can, God told us we could. And it is only because Moses listened to the 2 as opposed to the multitudinous 10 that we went into Canaan. Because of the 12, 2 saw it differently. 2 saw something else. Everybody was looking at the same thing. And the majority saw one thing. And the minority saw something else. We are destined as human beings to see the same things. It is our judgments that become the question. And as we move the leadership of this community and this synagogue forward, we will have different viewpoints and people will see differences in the same thing. It's okay. The issue is an issue of respect. It is an issue of hearing the other side and saying, what part of that can I merge with my thought and my vision and put it together to make it all stronger? That's not the generation we are in. We are in a generation where if you don't believe 100% of what I do, you are the enemy. You're not an opponent anymore, you're the enemy. You are no longer someone who simply sees something a little differently. You are the enemy. The 12 spies, 10 of the 12 saw God as the enemy because God said something different than what they wanted to see. we as human beings will see what we seek. And as we move forward over the next few minutes and install the upcoming leadership of this community and this congregation, we will be beholden to what they see and what they want to see and what they choose to see. We will be beholden to those who say, let's hear what everyone has to say, and then put it in a Cuisinart of logic and come out with something that could be stronger. It's a way to do it. To come together and hear all options and see what everybody sees. And recognize that there is opportunity in that. There is a chance to hear something that just might be a different way. But we need to do that and not vilify each other, and not make the other the enemy when we are all walking in the same road to the same end. And with that as the banner of truth that we have to move forward, we set forward on a journey. And so, I would ask the outgoing officers of this temple and the sisterhood and the brotherhood to stand. For your commitment and time shared in the pursuit of a stronger, more involved organization, these members offer the deepest thanks and look forward to your being part of the journey forward for many years to come. We continue to anticipate being able to call upon your experience and counsel as we move this community to new heights. You are now formally discharged from your responsibilities with our deepest thanks. So you get to sit for about 10 seconds. And now, here comes a list. We would ask the following newly elected and re-elected members of our boards, as your names are called, to please stand. President, incoming and outgoing. I'm going to skip that, it's going to take too long. Toby, ready? Outgoing, you just outwent.
You said ingoing, outgoing.
Right, now you're ingoing. First Vice President, Susan Schlein. Second Vice President, Linda Chazen. Treasurer, Sue Klatch. Financial Secretary, Faith Krumenacker. Recording Secretary, Fran Cooper. Corresponding Secretary, who obviously will be sending us a note from wherever he is, Ellis Bromberg. Sisterhood Presidents, Marianne Polk and Belle Seidel. Brotherhood Presidents, Eric Bromberg and Len Epstein. Ellis. He's not here either. Trustees, Lydia Bauman, Ray Feldman, Cheryl Lieberman, Naomi Sapphire, Richard Schneebolk, Andre Tariff, who sends greetings from Poland. He's in Poland. And past President Harvey Levy, members of the Sisterhood Board, Marianne Polk, Belle Seidel, co-presidents, Naomi Sapphire, treasurer, Eve Epstein, recording secretary, Fran Tama, corresponding secretary, Susan Schlein, VP of fundraising, Dorothy Janin, VP of programming, Doris Handel, VP of membership, Carol Levine, Ida Rubin Sunshine, Evelyn Polter, Oneg shopping. read what's on the page. Directors at Large, Fern Barishman, Lydia Bauman, Linda Chasen, Judaica Shop, Hermes Gradless Book Club, Karen Jackson, Linda Wigdor. Brotherhood Board, Len Epstein and Ellis Stromberg, co-presidents, Jeff Kreese, vice president, Richard Schneebold, recording secretary, Alan Bornstein, treasurer, directors at large, Saul Infeld, Marty Kahn, Harvey Levy, Brian Yatkowitz, all of you. Did I leave out anybody? Oh, good. May God grant you wisdom and foresight in your deliberations regarding the business of this congregation and God's business as well. May you always see the path of our growth with blessing and positive vision, always putting the needs of the community before personal placement. May God grant you the wisdom to choose to win over being the winner, as when we win together, we are all the winners. Understand the vision recalls Deuteronomy, wherein we make the most precious statement, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. God is one. For us to emulate God as leaders, we must strive to constantly replicate the concept of Echad, one. Let us go forward, united, acknowledging the desire to succeed together as one. Mazel Tov. As you begin your journey to leadership, we offer a communal prayer filled with hopes and dreams for our combined future successes. While there is strength in success, we also need strength as we face challenge. Our challenges, which are neither few nor insignificant. Together we can surmount all obstacles. Together we succeed. Together we move forward. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. From strength to strength be strong and of great courage. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who brings us to this most extraordinary moment. Amen.
July 9th, Sisterhood is having a card party and luncheon and trivia once again on Saturday, July 27th. We are having evening services on July 19th at ACOX at Tradition Life Celebration Center. We will not hold services here that Friday night. They will be in Tradition that night. If you need a ride, please let us know. We'll see what we can do about carpooling that evening. I'd like to say a few words this evening. Well, I had mentioned that it's good to be back, and there's several reasons. Number one, touched my heart, and I want to thank everybody here for that, because it's because of you that I feel this way. Some of you have already heard about some of the things that transpired during our Holocaust tour, such as the heat, the lack of air conditioning, our small European hotel rooms, and the walking, and more walking that we did. Lenny this evening, when he greeted me, said, "Oh, you're wearing shoes, not just sneakers." So, I mean, it was intense walking while we were there. But there was also the emotional impact of seeing the concentration camps, the Berlin Wall, the Warsaw Ghetto, and the monuments for the victims of the war. But for me, more importantly, is what happened after I returned home. I looked back, I thought back at what I had experienced and what I had learned, and I realized a couple things. Number one, that all these years of not being able to sit still helped prepare me for all the walking. Number two, I realized that I need to put into perspective whatever I might be faced with. My worries and concerns, no matter how hurt or troubled I might have been by them, are relatively minor in the larger scope of things. I cannot imagine anything as horrific as what those in the concentration camps experienced. My life may have its challenges, but they are not insurmountable. They may be aggravating and worrisome, and I might lose some sleep, but they are not insurmountable. That includes the challenges that I, as president, face here at TBEI. To meet these challenges, there are several approaches that can be taken. The pessimistic approach, where we would see things negatively, lack hope or confidence in the future, and believe the worst can and will happen. Neutrality. We would see things, not really caring one way or the other, just kind of go along without any emotional involvement. And then the optimistic way. We would see things in a more positive light, hopeful that we can find a way to be successful. To move forward, we should be optimistic. Yes, problems will always exist, but we should believe that we can resolve those problems if we work together. So I ask the board of the Temple, Sisterhood, and Brotherhood, and to every member of this congregation, and I ask you to join me in adopting a positive attitude and a desire to work hard for our family and our home here at Temple Beth-El Israel. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
The blessing and curse of smartphones is they teach you things you didn't care to know. My phone shared with me that during the trip that we all went on, I walked almost 62,000 steps. It explained a great number of things. The pain in my legs, and how far I had to walk. How far we all had to walk to meet our history and our lives. We saw and experienced on some level how generations chose to live together and how they chose to die together in strength and in support. They became a community, even in their death. that we each have of who it is we choose to be as a group. Do we stand together, or do we stand as individuals? Do we choose to win, or just idly wait to just not? It was a very difficult 12 days, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It will take a great deal of time for those of us who went to unpack it all. There were little things that we brought back. We brought back stones some people walked on. The red candle holder over there comes from an oddity. Comes from the gift shop at Auschwitz. Seems like such an oddity to have a gift shop at Auschwitz. But that will stand there as a testament to strength. It will stand as a testament and a reminder to us that we can achieve what we choose to achieve. And if we choose to fail and to fade, we will. And if we choose to use our combined strengths to stand in defiance of a generation that tried to destroy us, we will. What I learned was the choices of every step were choices that we got to make and that we have to make now. What little things separate us as individuals don't even count. They're silly. They're just inane when you look at the strength that walked on a train station. And we've all seen the pictures of how our ancestors were split into two sides, into two piles, into two lists, two lines. If I lose everything from this trip, the one thing I will never again lose is if you went into the line that was going to die. According to German reporting, from when they asked you to walk that way, you died in 11 minutes. So we don't have a whole lot of time to sit and debate silliness. A generation died in 11 minutes because they saw the Jews as them. And don't kid yourselves. We are back to being them all over again. What will redeem those who died and what will allow us to stand strong is this building and the people in it with open arms saying, come in and join us, because separately and separated it will not work out well. But together there is nothing we cannot overcome. Together is the only way. Think about that when silliness clouds your vision. Think of it when $1 or $2 is too much, or I want what I want, as opposed to I want what we need. There is nothing we cannot climb on top of, succeed at, and protect if we simply choose to stay together. But while you're thinking and pointing and thinking about silliness, imagine as I have, since the day I came back, since the day we all came back, what would you do with the next 11 minutes if that's all you have left? As a Jew, what would you do in the next 11 minutes? We move to conclude our service with the Olenu. We call on Lenny Epstein and Jeff Crease. Olenu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol. Vateikidu l'aliotzer b'neishi, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'manatzot, v'lo asanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo asanu chalkeinu kahem, v'kol aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei ha'chachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shemayim V'yosei Haaretz, Moshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Nima'al, U'shchinatu Zo B'Godlei Merogim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kakatu b'torato, bi'adatayom, v'ashevota el levanecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim nima'al, v'ha'aretz mitachat ein od. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz v'yom ha'u yeh Adonai echad u'shemo death is recently taken from us. As we sadly mention the recent passing of Billy Esterson, longtime member and dearly beloved friend of this congregation, as well as those who have departed in years past, as we recognize the outsides of Peter Asher, Minnie Badner, Rachel Barrick, Isidore Black, Aaron Bloom, Janie Bronstein, Francis Cadwell, Marion Connellis, Bernard Cohen, Minnie Cooper, Edward Dantowitz, Jack Feldshawn, Nathan Filler, Abraham Feivel, Jacob Friedman, Rose Froschneider, Hyman Fuss, Helen Glick, Erwin Gluck, Julius Gordon, Paul Jeffrey, Gertrude Lerner, Alfred Litt, Scott Morgenstern, Ralph Reddick, Tilly Rolnick, Shirley Rubin, Jacob Sayowitz, Dr. Joseph Henry Selleck, Joseph Seligman, Elizabeth Siegman, Harry Silver, Fanny Sinaway, Herbert Weiss, Robert Wheeler, Zina Wynn, We also remember all those taken by the hand of the oppressor, including over 1.5 million children for whom we are responsible to recite Kaddish. Yit Gadal, Yit Skadash, Merabah, Yamah Gilaf Tirpei, Yit Mafeteh, Chayefon, Yomefon, Chayefon, Beit Israel, V'Alav Man Karib, Imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rama Barach, La'olam U'Omer Mayam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitahar v'yitanam v'yitaseh. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei v'kudsha v'yirchu. Le'ela v'kol v'yitata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'omah v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rada min shemayim. V'chayim aleinu ya'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imru v'yaseh shalom. Aleinu Ya'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Bless our lives, our children, and our families. Bless all of those who have lost their way. Bring peace to all who seek a world of beauty. Give blessings, God, to all these today. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house with love. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house. Amen. Voila. Voila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. As we go forward, let us lead as Nachshon ben Aminadav did, not looking left or right, but only truly looking forward. And then we will find what this week's Torah portion tells us will be in front of us. Eretz Zavat Chalav, a land filled with milk and honey and peace. Shabbat Shalom.